But at least pre-season camp seems to be going well. Hey, what's going on, friends? Welcome on back to Football Therapy with me, your host, and I do hope you are all doing well today, my sweet friends. Namaste! Welcome back to Chelsea News, of course, the daily series here on Football Therapy, where I go around, see what's being said about Chelsea in the headlines, give you my opinion on it, but of course, more importantly, ask for yours. The sensational striker stories keep on. We're going to talk about Lewandowski and Armando Broja, which is positive, and also training camp, games behind closed doors, etc. It's fun. Settle in, dear friends. Pour yourself a drink, get comfortable. Consider subscribing to Football Therapy if you're new to my channel, or if you're a returning visitor who is yet to subscribe. Hey, just do it. What have you got to lose? And you can help me out further, hey, if you want to, by liking the video, which of course aids me in the dark, nightmarish abyss that is the YouTube algorithm. Drop a like, friends. Alright then, let's get into today's video. Before I cite a story from goal.com talking about Lewandowski and Armando Broja, I do want to reference the fact how Chelsea played an in-house game behind closed doors, of course, yesterday. They were set to play a local Irish team, but the game got called off due to a positive test, I think. So the abundance of Chelsea players played each other. Positive to hear, it was a tight game and resulted in a 1-1 draw, indicating that it was quality playing against quality. It would be worrying if one side absolutely battered the other, because you'd be raising eyebrows at the losing side. So it ended in a 1-1 draw, I believe both goals coming in the second part of the game, and the goals were scored by Armando Broja, the young superstar striker we'll be talking about in just a moment, and on the other team, Callum Hudson-Odoi. Now, Callum Hudson-Odoi is reportedly looking like he's in the shape of his life. He came back early for pre-season to impress Thomas Tuchel, and all summer, or most of the summer, he had been training with a personal trainer to make sure he's getting himself in shape. Determined, he's locked on, he really wants to prove himself to Tuchel, and the noises from around the camp is he's looking confident, he's looking in the best shape he's ever been, and Thomas Tuchel is impressed. I guess we have a serious chance here that Callum Hudson-Odoi could muscle his way into the starting 11. Of course, the likes of Timo Werner and Kai Havertz and Mason Mount have all been absent, who generally start in the front three for Chelsea, but while they're gone, Callum Hudson-Odoi is using the opportunity as best he can to get into the thoughts of Thomas Tuchel, and it sounds like he's doing a really good job. So positive, a 1-1 draw, hopefully a tight game involving quality between the bibs and no bibs of Chelsea at that pre-season training camp. Right then, let's move on and let's talk about a news story from goal.com referencing Lewandowski and more. We all know the situation, ladies and gentlemen. Chelsea are massively in for a striker, especially since selling Olivier Giroud, and of course there are big links to Tammy Abraham leaving Chelsea, but I think the general consensus there is they will only sell him if they buy a quality striker. In the meantime, in the squad, the only recognised number 9s they have is Tammy Abraham and Armando Broja. I think Timo Werner isn't seen as so much a recognised conventional number 9, neither is Kai Havertz, so it's really just Tammy and Armando. So let's have a little stroll on through the article from goal.com and see what they're saying about the striker situation. Right then, Lewandowski. The Poland international has long been in the West London club's thoughts, and interest could be revived as they look to sign a goalscorer. Chelsea's mission to sign a world-class striker has seen them asked to be kept informed about Robert Lewandowski's situation at Bayern Munich. Goal can confirm. Although Bayern are strongly opposed to the sale this summer, the 32-year-old could be tempted by a new opportunity overseas. With just 2 years left on his contract at the Allianz Arena, the Blues know their good connections with the Polish superstar should come in handy, having twice attempted to sign him in the past. And pause. I find that quite interesting that we've tried to sign him twice. I know we tried to sign Haaland before we went to Dortmund. I know we've looked at other players like Aguero and stuff like that, but to have, I can't remember the 2 occasions we tried to sign Robert Lewandowski, but it's interesting that we have done, you know. Are Chelsea still in for Erling Haaland? The main idea for this transfer window has been to add a new striker to Thomas Tuchel's main squad. However, Chelsea are attempting to shop at the very top table of world football and complete a complicated and costly exercise. Like Bayern, Borussia Dortmund are resolute in their stance that they won't sell their 21-year-old unless it's for an exceptional offer or well over £100 million. Yeah, we know that. The Norwegian attacker is in pre-season again under manager Marco Rose and isn't currently forcing a move, with Haaland knowing a clause will become active next summer that allows any club to sign him for around £70 million. The problem for Chelsea is that release clause will likely attract even more competition, with every major European club likely to be keen on signing him. Yeah, I actually think the release clause is closer to £65 million and not 70. That's what other reports are indicating. And yes, when it comes to, going all in on the best young striker in the world, many clubs will be in for Erling Haaland. He'll have the pick. Look, Arsenal are paying 50 million for Ben White, reportedly 65 million pounds for Maddison bid. He could cost 65 million pounds. James Maddison or Erling Haaland. Do you know what I mean? If Arsenal can afford that kind of money, think of the amount of clubs that will go in for him. Like most Premier League clubs, or like the top 8, do you know what I mean, would go in for him, and other European super clubs around the continent. Lots, basically. Will Chelsea give up and sign a different striker? The Blues wanted to re-sign Romelu Lukaku, but he has given his word that he will remain into this summer. Early in the summer, Harry Kane reiterated his desire to leave Tottenham and will address his future upon his return from holiday. The Blues, however, have found their local rivals difficult to work with in the transfer market and know they will be outsiders for his signature. Yes, and on Harry Kane, news sort of broke yesterday evening that Daniel Levy has given Harry Kane his blessing to transfer to Manchester City. He was never coming to Chelsea. Levy would never sanction that. But apparently he's done a U-turn on Harry Kane and he'll go to Man City. And yeah, the reports sound legitimate. I mean, I don't know the source, but they're saying Harry Kane was at his brother's wedding and he was delighted and he was telling people and he wanted to leave on good terms with Levy, so he's so pleased he managed to reach that conclusion. Basically, Harry Kane at Man City is frightening, and Chelsea need to make moves to keep up with such a gargantuan striker situation. Chelsea have options lower on their list, but understand that the further they drop down, the bigger the risk in terms of fixing their scoring problems from last season. Olivier Giroud has left the club, Tammy Abraham could follow, but the asking price of £40 million has slowed down the market around him. Youngster Armando Broja is at the front of the queue to be promoted to the squad should Chelsea not sign a striker. Cool, Armando Broja. Apparently, he's actually really impressed as well. I don't know how true that is from terms of who I've heard that from, but that could be really positive. The way he's being interviewed by Chelsea Football Club, he's talking about Chelsea a lot. The way they're sort of talking about him, he's talking about the club. On the Chelsea website, doesn't sound like a player who's about to go and get loaned to the Championship. Who knows, maybe he will, or a Premier League loan, but it does look more and more likely that he does get promoted into the senior squad. A situation that personally I thought was very unlikely. Who else could Chelsea sign? Chelsea may also dip into the market for a central midfielder, with West Ham's Declan Rice and run star Eduardo Camavinga being considered. Meanwhile, talks with Andreas Christensen and Antonio Rudiger over new contracts are not advanced, despite them having less than a year on their current deals. The Blues have contingency options in mind at the back, including Real Madrid defender Varane, Sevilla's Jules Koundé, and Bayern's Nicolas Süle. Yeah, but I think Varane is pretty nailed on for Manchester United now, so we can, forget that one. There were attempts to bring in the Inter fullback Achraf Hakimi this summer, but PSG were more willing to pay his wage demands along with the high fee and won the race to sign him. Reports suggest Chelsea actually never put in a bid for Achraf Hakimi. So, yeah. Although no deal has yet to be done, the Blues are still expected to make a major impact on this summer's transfer market, having already raised £50 million in player sales. Yeah, if you look at the list of Chelsea players that have gone off the books already this summer, it's like 10 and counting, with like other youngsters to go after Bate, after Bate and Gurhey. You can imagine Livramento, Part Harris, more to come. There's been sales, there's been players being released, there's a lot of players are off the books. Chelsea are absolutely cleaning out the roster and they're generating revenue at the same time. Remember, they've got Champions Leagues winning money as well as qualifications for next tournaments money that comes into your accounts. They make a lot of money in terms of marketing revenue. Roman Abramovich will absolutely put a lot of money into the kitty, especially considering financial fair play stuff is relaxed. Chelsea have no problem financially at the moment, it would seem. So we're just waiting for the opportunity to come in for a superstar to be purchased. Hopefully up front and in midfield. But let me know what you think. I think it's really positive that Armando Broja is looking good and is maybe going to be promoted into the first team. Obviously Callum Hudson-Odoi apparently looking scintillating in training, trying to push his way into the starting lineup. Let me know your thoughts on that. And Lewandowski, how do you feel about Lewandowski? Yes, or do you... I love Lewandowski. I actually think on form he's the best striker in the world, but I also think Chelsea signing him this summer is just paving the way for Bayern Munich to buy Erling Haaland next summer as a Lewandowski replacement who will be pushing 34 at that point. Or he will be 34 next August. Woo, anyway, let me know what you think. Comment down below, subscribe if you're new. Drop a like on your way out, friends. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy the football, if there is any. And I'll see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me baby.